कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. जय राधा गोकुल नंद राधा गोकुल नंद राधे। जय सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान सीता राम Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. बोलो श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान जी की, सीता राम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की, गौरा निताय की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, डेरेस गुरु महाराज की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So today we will be reading from chapter 17, and it's going to be verse number 21 that we will be studying. So if you like to have Bhagavad-gita, I've got a spare one here, or there's some kept over that side, and some of those are also kept onto the other side. Before we start, I'd like to thank His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada for giving us books like Bhagavad-gita as it is, because we all know it's not an ordinary Bhagavad-gita. Bhagavad-gita is special anyway, but this is Bhagavad-gita as it is. Why is it called as it is? Because all Krishna's words and all the Krishna's meaning, whatever is exact translation, and there is nothing added or none of their views given in that verse. So you can actually we are so pious to be, we are so lucky to have pious Srila Prabhupada, who's then translated everything for us in English and some of the other languages, so we can all understand this pious talk and this special auspicious conversation that was being held between Arjun and Lord Krishna. And through Arjun, we are being taught. So in this, as you already know, they're talking about chapter 17, the divisions of faith. So the verse 21, we'll read up that one and then we can explain. It's very small purport, and we'll go back and we'll just talk generally about this verse then. So the Sanskrit translation goes like this. Yatu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishyat va punah diyate cha pariklishtam tadanam rajasamsmritam. Yatu prayupakarartham phalam uddishya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam Taddanam rajasam smritam. Shall we try and pronounce together? One more time. So it's Yattu pratyu upakartham phalam uddishya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. So the meaning goes, or anybody else want to try and pronounce? Don't worry, it can't be as bad as my pronunciation. Give it a go. Hey? Oh, you don't have it? Oh, okay. Would you like to try? Brilliant, perfect pronunciation. So let's just repeat one more time. Yatu pratyag upakartham phalam uddishya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. Did you say you wanted to give it a try? Are you okay? You haven't got it in here? Oh, hey, you can take this. Yatu pratyupakartham. Go on. Good. It's hard. It's hard, but at least we tried. Yeah, we tried to speak the same words that's come out of those personalities' mouths. So, and nothing is hard if we carry on practicing. So this is it. I've not practiced, and hence the reason I'm not being fluent in it today. But practice makes us perfect. So if we carry on practicing, it'll happen. So anyway, let's start off with the meanings now. So yat means that, which. Tu means but. Prati upkarartham. So that's the reason why this is a difficult word, because it's like 3 words together. So prati upkar artham, for the sake of getting something in return. Do you see there's a motive? You want to do something, but for sake of getting something in return. Phalam, phal means fruit. Fruit means also result in a way, right? So uddishya, meaning desiring, ichha. Va or puna means again. Diyate is given. Cha also. Pratiklishtam is grudgingly. Those were the 2 words that really stuck, right? Tat, that. Danam, dan means charity. So rajasam, in the mode of passion. Smritam is understood to be. So here they're saying, but charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruitive results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be charity in the mode of passion. So this is the meaning, purport by His Divine Grace. Charity is sometimes, purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Charity is sometimes performed for elevation to the heavenly kingdom, and sometimes with great trouble and with repentance afterwards. Why have I spent so much in this way? Charity is also sometimes given under some obligation at the request of a superior. These kind of charity are said to be given in mode of passion. There are many charitable foundations which offer their gifts to institution where sense gratification goes on. Such charities are not recommended in the Vedic scriptures. Only charity in the mode of goodness is recommended. So, if we go back to text 20 and read the English, this is the continuation of the conversation as to what type of charity is deemed to be superior, deemed to be auspicious, and according to the Vedic scriptures, so is recommended by Vedic scriptures. So when we go back to 20, on Friday, if you would have heard the class, they would have talked about charity given out of duty, without expectation of return, at the proper time and place, and to a worthy person, is considered to be in the mode of goodness. Now we all know there's 3 modes, yes? Who's going to name those 3 modes? Anyone? Mode of goodness? And? Yeah. So Rajas, Tamsi. So we talked about passion when we talked about 21. And goodness is what they're talking about here. So what kind of charity we should give? When it's a charity that comes from heart with no expectation in return, and at the proper time and place, to a worthy person. So look how many implications are there. So in this purport, they explained, charity should be given to persons engaged in spiritual activities. Person engaged in spiritual activities, that is recommended, right? And then there is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. So now we're talking about, leading on from that verse where they've explained that who are the qualified people to receive charity, and how we should be considerate when we are actually giving. And sometimes we give charity to people because we feel sorry for them. But you never know, eventually, if we keep on giving the charity indiscriminately, it just comes back to bite us. So often a lot of people, I don't know, who's been to Vrindavan? Brilliant. So in Vrindavan, Prabhuji, when you go, you see sometimes lots of poverty. Obviously, it's Krishna's land, it's opulent and everything else with the spiritual vision. But when you see from material vision, you see there's so many people who are asking. Sometimes when you go, they all run behind you if they know one person's giving something, right? So one instance I remember is when there was a little child and you felt sorry for, obviously when you see them, you feel sorry for them. So then you think that I shall give them money. However, you don't know how that child is going to be abused just to get that money off them later. So one needs to be very careful. And that's why I just say, Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki. So one needs to be, so what I tend to do now is whenever I go, I say to, would you like to sit down? We're doing this class for about till 7, and then the Aarti would open, and then you can hear the Aarti, and then the Prasad's going to be served as well. That is if you got time, right? So then what I did was I actually took that guy, the child, to a halwai shop, made him sit down, asked him what he wants to eat, fed him everything he wanted to, and that's that. Rather than give him money, because you don't know. So this is the reason why we don't know in this material world how somebody is going to abuse, even though you've given something with good faith and good intention. So this is why now Krishna is telling us the charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruitive results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be the charity in mode of passion. So first word is pratya upkarartham. Pratya, prati upkar artham. Artham means something, motive. Upkar means when you are doing good. Prati meaning like if you are doing they have described this as for the sake of getting something in return. So whenever we are doing charity, but we think to ourselves, okay, I will do this charity, but I want something back in return. Now, although that charity is still charity, however, so we know there's 3 levels: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the same charity even though you're giving and your intention and everything, but because your intention is incorrect, your intention is of obtaining something back, then it's not deemed to be in the correct, it's not deemed to be in mode of goodness. Yeah. So, for example, so if you come here, and I'm sure most, like any of those who are parents, when they want, like, it's just natural, I just think I like to remind myself that Lord Krishna is our father. So we can ask whatever we want, because who else are you going to go to if you don't ask your father? But at the same time, if we are always coming to Lord Krishna and saying, okay, I have given these exams, which are very important to me career-wise, and I need a job in return, or, then although we are giving that dhan, but at the same time, it's not going to be deemed to be that great, because we've got ulterior motive, right? So that's what they're meaning by pratyupkarartham, right? So we shouldn't do, like they say, phal ki ichha nahi karo. Do your job, do your work, do what you're meant to do, but do not expect, there's no, without expectation. So then they're saying there's also, sometimes we give charity when there is uddishya va punah. So the uddishya is desiring. So again, if there is a desire to give because somebody else has just said, oh, if you give this, then this is going to be that, and you're under some sort of pressure, or you are thinking, well, because I want my name, fame to be remembered by in society, and I want to appear to be of high status, so I'm doing something like that. So that's also really wasted efforts. Not completely wasted, because it's still in mode of passion, but it's not what it could be. Like we often hear parents or teachers say to children, this is good, but you could do better. So similarly, Krishna is telling us that it's good to do something, but if you actually find out what else you should be doing, how can you make that same action perfect? How can you do it in the highest way? Then that's what, because you have that in you. Like we say to children, you have that capability. Similarly, if we study Srila Prabhupada's books, simplest of things like, even how we should give charity, when we should give charity, who should be the recipient of charity, all of these things details are there. So we can read these books because they are like jewels, and then we can apply all of these teachings in our life. There's always, one has, like my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, often said to us when we took initiation, he always said, promise me you will not leave ISKCON, when we took initiation, right? And then you just think, yes, you want initiation, and you can, judging from his experience, he often said that when you compare, there is nothing perfect in this material world. Is there anything perfect? Of course. Radha Gokulananda ji is perfect. Krishna is perfect, right? Because they're on a spiritual platform. We know there is perfect Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Why? Because that's spiritual, it's not material. So His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, I was listening to one of his lectures, and he was saying how you really need that particular organ before you can actually form, say for vision. Now, if your eyes are not focusing on the object, even though you are here, you will not be seeing someone because your mind is going to be somewhere else, right? So unless and until your mind is focused and it needs to interact with the eyeballs, vision, the object, then only your eyesight will see the form. It can, otherwise there's so many things here. But if I said to you without looking, can you tell me what's in that corner? You wouldn't know, because we haven't actually paid attention with our eyes, with our mind, by being there, like they say, Similarly, so when we eat something, can you eat something from nose? Could you taste lasagna or nice gulab jamun or whatever else that you really like if you put it into your nose? No, you can't. Because to taste that prasad, you have to put it in your tongue. Tongue combined with water would then give you that taste, right? So similarly, there are all these things that we are aware of, like say, for instance, Mahamantra. I don't know about any of you guys, but I always struggle with chanting. And my Guru Maharaj always said, one has to have the taste for it, only then it'll come. And even after so many years. So they say, you shouldn't do offensive chanting for a start. So chanting is good. Initially, they say it's offensive, although ideally what you should do is try and not form those habits which are going to make your chanting as offensive chanting. Because ideally, you want to do offenseless chanting. And those of you who know there's 10 offenses, and the 10th one in there it says to chant offenselessly. So Guru Maharaj was saying in his lecture that if you want to hear something, how can you just, when you're doing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It has to go through your ear, right? Just like food has to go through your tongue and then go into your digestive systems, and then hunger goes away. Similarly, for us, if we want to really, really reap the rewards of chanting, and we don't want to chant to get something, but think about it, how sweet the taste is going to be if we just do to please Krishna, if we just do to please Shri Radha Gokulananda ji, Srila Prabhupada, right, or Guru Maharaj, right? So sometimes when you do, so for us to chant properly, this is what I need to learn. That I need to be able to hear each and every word of that Mahamantra through my ears, and then hopefully slowly drag it into my heart, where then I can get rid of all the anarthas. Because the quickest way to progress in your spirituality, in your devotional service, is actually via chanting, or your devotional service, or bhakti, whatever you may choose to call it. Now, as we all know, they give example of a mother as like selfless love. There's loads of types of love in this world, in material world, usually all based on, I do this for you, you do this for me, or something in return, or whatever else. But there's something called selfless love. And that selfless love only happens, think about it, when you go to your mom's house, or you go to your parents' house, and your dad or your mom, they're cooking something, they want to welcome you, and they want you to just sit down and eat and honor stuff that they've made. And what do they get in return? They've gone out, bought everything, gone through hardship of cooking it for you, offered it to Krishna, got it all ready, awaiting, so that you, as their child, can come and honor it. What do they get? Anything? Does mom say afterwards, can I have 10 pounds, please? Oh, you would have paid 20 pounds for this. Bring it here, son. No, because she gets the satisfaction. She gets that rasa, right? So similarly, by doing charity in the right way, by not desiring anything in return, by not expecting, that we're just doing it for sake of something. It's not like a business transaction. And we are not doing it because we just need to give, because somebody's told me, or someone that is senior to me have said, you must give some money for Goshala, or you must give some money for this side. So you give it. But then later on in your life, you're going to be thinking, oh my God, I didn't have this money, I've given, and now what? So any of those thoughts that comes to your mind afterwards, it basically deems your charity in mode of passion. So before you give, control your mind and think, everything that I have been given here is, who's given it? Lord Krishna, right? The God. People call different names for God. At the end of the day, one God. We just call it with different names. Doesn't matter which faith you're from. And Srila Prabhupada always, always said, we are always trying to make better devotees out of any religion. It just does not matter, right? So as long as we're trying to please that Father who has given us everything, control my mind and think, okay, this was never mine. I got it. With Krishna's mercy, I'm giving this. To a worthy cause, though. That's the important thing. We've already studied at the back, Krishna saying that if you should give charity in mode of goodness. So like, say, for example, this particular place. So if I come here, I'm hoping eventually, say my parents came here, my friends, my, social circle, and I'm hoping my children, my children's children, my children's children's children, and so on, would always come here to take darshan of Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda. Now this needs to be maintained, right? So how can we assist as a grahastha? When you read Srimad-Bhagavatam, it tells you there that as a grahastha, we are supposed to be maintaining the, the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, the people who are into pious activities, because they have given up their career to go and work in big firms so that they can take the money. No, they are using all their time, effort, energy, their lives in making the whole world their family. So I am selfish. I just think, okay, I want to take this for my mom, my dad, and so on. But they don't think like that I should only preach to this person. They're thinking all of us in this world are Krishna's children. So they go out of their way, especially if you've been in some book marathons and stuff like that, that they would go out and in really cold weather, still go out to just do book distribution. Why? Because one day, when we are reading these jewel-like books, something clicks. And then we are going to be able to find out and have a knowledge ourselves. It's nice to hear, oh, my mom told me so I do this. Oh, this is what I've always done. But the best thing is to actually pick up the book yourself and read. Because when you read, you understand. When you understand, you have the knowledge. When you have the right knowledge, you're able to then make the sound judgments, sound decisions, right? That would be then giving knowledge to your children. That would be the best gift for their life. So Christmas is coming. A lot of parents are going to say, oh, I've got a wish list. Have you got a wish list, little girl there? No? Is mommy going to say, oh, what is Santa going to give you this year? So children tend to have a wish list, like for Diwali, for everything else, new clothes, new this, new books, new iPads, new phones, new this. But then all of these gadgets, all of these new things give you little bit of pleasure at the time, but then the novelty wears off. And eventually, the best gift that you are able to give your child is the actual raising them in cultured environment, giving them sanskars, giving them culture, giving them the knowledge, giving them the never-ending love of Krishna. Because all the other relations, no matter what they are, how close they are, think about it. When we were little, we adored our parents, we adored our brothers, sisters. Then you grow up, then you have friends, then your attention starts going, then you just think school friends are it. Then you go to uni, you don't even remember your school friends. So all the time, our relationships are changing. And we don't find a perfect relationship, apart from the one that we actually try and cultivate with Krishna. And Krishna is giving you all these things. In this particular chapter, he has mentioned that, the food stuff, the nature, what should be our nature. He talks about different types of faith. So they've always talked about demoniac nature or divine nature. So similarly, those three modes, depending on which mode you are be basing your judgments on or making your decisions on, that's going to be the primary thing that is going to steer your life towards the right path or not, as the case may be, right? So we want to think about those good qualities. We want to think about association with the lordship. Because what happens? We say man is known by the company you keep. And then if you keep company with people who are devotees, people who are into devotional service, and for the right reasons, then automatically you are going to be embracing and gaining those good qualities. And you won't be spending lots of your time thinking, oh God, I don't like her, or I don't like him, I'm envious of this, why has she got that, why haven't I got this, and so on. And there's so many different religions, in the end, Prabhupada always asked, we can question. If we are not satisfied with something, ask a question. Don't accept things blindly just because somebody said it. In this day and age, in materialistic world, there's a lot of people who are type of opportunist as well. So not everyone who would join the temple will join for the right reason. Eventually, they might be for the right reason, but there are times where we hear, oh, this has happened or that's happened. And this is why I was telling, when Guru Maharaj said, do not leave ISKCON. Well, when you compare one institution to rest of the other ones, people say, oh, we shouldn't have this type of system or that type of system. But I don't know about the others. Before I was following ISKCON, I wasn't studying that much Bhagavad-gita. I was reading it, but I wasn't actually studying it to try and understand what is the goal of my life, and so on. So if something, not everybody is going to be 200% good. If somebody is fallen down, well, you need to be aware of what is going on, but at the same time, you still have a choice of concentrating on what is good as opposed to be focusing on what is bad, right? So, be careful. This is all in parampara. Srila Prabhupada has really given us this very special place. And most of the people here have got really high standard. And I'm not saying that there would be no one who's going to have the other type of standards. You may hear in news this, that, the other. But so what? Where is in this world where everything is perfect? It can't be, because we're in material world, right? So there's always going to be little things here and there, but you as a person have got to be in mode of goodness, or even getting higher than that on Brahma Bhuta platform, to try and then see with vision what a beautiful gift Srila Prabhupada has given us, that we can actually utilize in our life by reading his books. There's big books, there's loads of chapters, there's small books, there's smaller books. And if there's nothing else and you don't have that much time, even this, a short summary of Bhagavad-gita, which tells us about the chapter 13 and lists very, it just basically says that we need to, you can use acronym FACE, F to remember this particular chapter. It talks about faith, austerities, A for austerities, C for charity, and then E for enjoying of everything. So here they're saying in previous chapter, Krishna described two extremes, the divine and demoniac, right? So here, the faces that we present on daily basis reveal something about our faith. The things we trust, believe, and place value upon. And then chapter 17 describes how a person's affiliation to a particular mode will determine the type of faith they are. So there is good in everything and there is bad in everything. It's just your vision that you need to try and keep, high. So that's that. And then we all know, Srimad-Bhagavatam, second verse. Um, um, So, the Ketav cheating religion. Dharma projita ketavatra paramo nirmatsara nam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapotrayon mulinam Srimad-Bhagavatam Mahamuni krite kim va parer Ishwara. Hang on. Kim va parer Ishwara. Then Sadhyo hridaya virudyate kritibhi shushrushrubhi tatshanan. So, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. Then this beautiful, so we can say Bhagavad-gita or Bhagavatam, compiled by great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need for any other scriptures? As soon as one attentively, so these are the qualities you need: attention, attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by the culture of knowledge of Supreme Lord is established within his heart. By this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. So Ketav is basically covered by fruitive intention, the cheating religion. There's loads of religions. But you need to have that eye which you can judge and tell, this is pure, this isn't, and so on, So there is loads on, and how do you know then? So say, for example, you are going to do, I'm sure you've heard this phrase before, ABC of spirituality. What does A stand for? Everyone knows, right? Association, right. Association with who? And Srila, His Divine Grace. How can you have association with His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada? Through his books. So all of us who've taken birth here, we're not always going to be staying here, right? But we are very lucky. Srila Prabhupada speaks to us through his books. Guru Maharaj speaks to us through his lectures. So as long as we can associate, and association is through books, devotees, you can hear them in lectures. These days, there's multimedia things, on YouTube, you just Google, and you can just have subscribe Hare Krishna Temple. And then every morning, it comes up. Like at, Mangal Aarti time, 7 o'clock Aarti time. The class starts in the morning. If you can't do anything else, you can hear it whilst you're driving, right? Or if you've missed it, there's always YouTube. You can then pick up the whole thing, whole program again. So, and B, does everyone knows, we just mentioned B is books. Yeah, so association, books, and C is for? Good. This Prabhuji is going to get 100% marks, right? People like him is what? Teachers' pets, right? He knows all the answers. But no, this is very good. Thank you, Arjun Prabhu. So basically, we should bring these three things into our life and try and carry on developing ourselves spiritually. And just like when we eat, we feel the satisfaction. Similarly, for us to feel whether we are growing in spirituality or not, you can tell by these things. So I'm going to read from Sutapa Prabhu's, or this Bhakti Life book, where it says, when we eat, we experience certain things like pleasure. A well-cooked meal gives us immediate sense of enjoyment to the tongue. Nourishment. Automatically, when we're having prasad, our body is also getting nourished, right? It's revitalized with each bite. And then gradually what happens, this is also an analogy in Srimad-Bhagavatam, that one becomes detached from eating because your hunger subsides. Your body feels full. The same thing that you were thinking, oh, I really like this. If you had to eat 10 of those or 20 of those, you won't be able to, because your tummy is full already. Nice and fuzzy feeling is there, right? Similarly, in bhakti, you can judge your own self whether you are growing spiritually or not by feeling the pleasure. So when you go from here, or whilst you sat here, you are not aware of where the earthquake has happened, what's happened in parliament, how much prices have gone up. It's all doom and gloom, right? When you wake up, put the television on. I used to watch news every day beforehand, going back 10, 20 years. I don't know anymore. I just watch little bits on my phone now and then. And if there is something really big, you hear from people. You don't have to waste your 3 hours trying to watch news, because what are they telling you? Doom, gloom, here, there, everywhere. Very, very rarely you see, like heartwarming sort of news. So that's one thing. So when you do bhakti, you will automatically feel the pleasure. The practice of bhakti are joyfully performed, and they bring pleasure and satisfaction on much deeper level. Anxiety, nobody likes that. Worry dissolves with tangible feeling of solace and relief. Mantra, that's why we do Hare Krishna mantra, so that our man can be away from these anxieties and all these problems or anything like that. Okay? And then the second thing is nourishment. Exactly like how analogy of food is, similarly we can judge our bhakti is going anywhere else. So we say nourishment. With increased spirituality, purity comes as a direct experience of God. The soul feels nourished, and life becomes infused with hope as we see God's hand in everything. So the biggest thing is devotees. It's not like you've become devotee, then you'll have no troubles in your life. No. You would always have to deal with challenging situation. The only good thing when you become devotee, or the change I felt in myself beforehand when I hadn't become a devotee, and I'm a devotee in making, I would like to think. I'm not perfect in any way, so please don't get that impression in any way. But the important thing is, I don't feel something's happened, then, oh gosh, this is it, One gets insight to deal with all your problems in a better way. You do not get affected as much because, you just automatically tell yourself, there's something good in this as well for me. Hence the reason why Lord Krishna has put me through this. And Lord Krishna wants me to become even better. And how do we become better? By taking, like, say when the doctor gives you injection, do you slap the doctor? You don't. Because he's trying to do this for your own good. He's giving you vaccination, say, against COVID. None of you guys hit the nurse, did you? No. Even though she was inflicting pain on you. So similarly, like parents, when not that I'm advising anyone to hit or tell children off, but if they do, it's for their own good. So similarly, Krishna, when he puts us through difficulties, he only puts us through difficulties that we can manage. And every time he puts us through a difficult situation, or he gives you a monetary loss, or he takes away someone that was dear to you, it's for a reason, because he wants you to develop. He wants you to be a bit more detached from all these things which have mattered to you before. So it's for your own development, for better. And then thirdly, detachment. Over time, we feel growing disinterest in the temporary material goals. When we were growing up, we all wanted, I want a designer coat, I want a designer bag, I wanted this, I wanted that. You wanted to wear the bag and show off. But none of these things matter anymore, do we? Like, if you get it, Krishna's mercy. If you get money, okay, use it for Krishna's service. Use it to have a nice house where you can have Krishna and Radharani. You can have Gauranitai, and, you can look after Srila Prabhupada and you can involve your children your grandchildren to do a little bit of service. Everybody knows how to give water, a glass of water to Krishna. It doesn't need to be complicated. Srila Prabhupada always said, well, Krishna consciousness is very complicated for complicated or simple for simple. So just keep things simple and just start off with little things. Start doing chanting in your mind. You'll see that your mind is at much more peace. You, as you grow in your chanting, as you develop in your knowledge of Krishna consciousness, automatically you will get insight how to deal with your problems in your life. You don't think this is it. You don't let the problems take over your life. It's that dhirastasrana muyati, that 213, Dehinosmin yatha dehe komaram yovanam jara tata dehantar praptir dhirastasrana muyati. So dhira, sober person, is not bewildered by any change. So today we are here. Beforehand we were children, and we're going to get into old age, and then we're going to go to another body at death. When we're going to go, then soul is going to leave and going to go to another body. So these things shouldn't really make you restless or make you, one should be sober enough to, take that change and not actually think, why is this happening? And, lamenting and grudging and all these things. So let's just make sure we have ornaments in our life, ornaments like these books. What is the ornament for ears? Not a designer earring, but hearing the holy name. What is the ornament for our throat? To be able to speak Krishna name, to do kirtan, right? To be able to speak the truth. To grow up in a nice and assist the society. If you're truthful, if you believe in truth, automatically you'll be helping the society. And what is the ornament of hand? It's dhan. So we give like this, rather than having give me attitude. What can I give? What can I give to the temple? What can I give to the devotees? What can I give to people who've made this possible for us? What can I give back to the society? What can I give back to my community? So those are the things. And let's just think what knowledge you need to start in using, what is the best for you as a person. Where do you start? There's very many things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, there's so many, 9 processes of bhakti. So let's just put our all hands up in the air and just say the mantra, which is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you all for coming, and thank you to online viewers, if any. Please carry on coming, and I'm sure your day is going to be completely not so down and dreadful as it's raining outside. When you see the beautiful face of our Shishi Radha Gokulananda, it'll be all change, the mood changes. When you go home, you'd be able to be in a different sort of mood. So thank you all for coming, and thank you all for listening to me. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad-gita ki jai. Thank you.
Jaya Gora Chande Aroti Koshoba Prestaya Jaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nidishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyare Satarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahansa Prabhada Kachara Nitalila Pravishta Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki ISKCON BBD founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivada Kachara Nitalila Pravishta Srimad-Bhagavatam Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Sakshat Gaur Kishudas Babaji Maharaj ki Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Manor ki Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Sri Rup Sri Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Sri Gopal Das Raghunath Sarva Swami Brinda ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Prem Sri Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Vasudha Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki Sri Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Ayodhya Dham ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the Samal. All glories to the Samal. All glories to the Samal. All glories to Guru and Guru and Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You sing or sing right?
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this evening. Nice to see you all. Although it's a miserable day out there, we're all smiling. So the next arti will be at 9 o'clock, and in the reception they will serving some Mahaprasad. So please make sure you take some Mahaprasad. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Panditji, you are Panditji. No, I'm not done yet. Yes, you okay? You okay? That's good. I'm glad hearing that you're good. Yes, Krishna Mercy. Finish service. Have some minutes.
8 o'clock. We have to let them know.
Yes. Almost now more than 10 years, almost 11 years. I don't have any other quality. I have one quality is I'm not that much enough. So preaching or reading class. I have a big position.
Rajesh.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.